The journey of positive psychology can be traced back to the earliest days of human thought. But as a formal discipline, it began taking shape in the 20th century. Before it was formally recognized, figures like William James, often considered the father of American psychology, emphasized aspects of human experience that transcend mere survival and dysfunction. James highlighted the importance of studying the healthier sides of life, such as habits that contribute to human flourishing. However, the true conceptualization of positive psychology as we know it began much later with Abraham Maslow in the mid-20th century. Maslow is best known for his hierarchy of needs, a model that transcends basic survival needs, advocating for higher human potentials. At the top of his hierarchy, Maslow placed self-actualization, a state where individuals are fully realizing their potential and are engaged in creative or personally fulfilling activities. The formal launch of positive psychology is most often attributed to Martin Seligman in the late 1990s. As president of the American Psychological Association in 1998, Seligman used his inaugural address to promote psychology's potential to look beyond illness and focus on areas such as talent development and personal fulfillment. Seligman's advocacy for a science of human strengths that could offer a richer appreciation of human potential marked a significant turning point for psychological research and practice. An intriguing and sometimes underappreciated aspect of the historical development of positive psychology is its connection to various religious and spiritual traditions. These traditions have long contemplated what makes life worth living, often providing the earliest frameworks for understanding human joy, fulfillment, and well-being. For instance, Buddhism has addressed the concept of mindfulness and the pursuit of happiness for thousands of years. The Buddhist practice of mindful living, a state of being actively aware and present in one's life, has influenced modern positive psychology interventions aimed at promoting mental health and well-being. Similarly, the Stoic philosophers of ancient Greece and Rome emphasized virtues like wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation, all of which align with contemporary understandings of character strengths in positive psychology. The Stoics also taught that happiness comes from accepting the moment as it presents itself, by not allowing oneself to be controlled by the desire for pleasure or fear of pain, but instead leading a life of virtue in accordance with reason. In Christianity, the Beatitudes promote values such as mercy, peacemaking, and righteousness, which are akin to modern concepts of altruism, fairness, and community building, elements that are now integral to the study of positive psychology. Understanding these early and diverse influences helps us appreciate positive psychology not as a new fad, but as a field deeply embedded in human culture and philosophical inquiry. It invites us to consider how ancient wisdom and modern science can converge to enhance our understanding of human potential and happiness. As we continue our exploration in this course, remember that positive psychology does not exist in a vacuum. It is a vibrant, evolving discipline that draws upon a rich tapestry of historical knowledge and contemporary research, aiming to enrich human life in practical and profound ways. As we've journeyed through the early influences on positive psychology, let's now turn our attention to its dramatic rise in the late 20th century. This era marks a pivotal moment when psychology started shifting its lens from a focus primarily on pathology to one that also celebrates human potential and well-being. So, how did this significant shift come about? It's quite a story. In the late 1990s, the field of psychology was ripe for change. Despite the vast research on mental illness, there was a growing sense that understanding dysfunction wasn't the whole picture of what psychology could offer. There was an undercurrent, a feeling among some psychologists that we were missing out on exploring the full spectrum of human experience, particularly the positive aspects. Enter Martin Seligman. The year was 1998, and Seligman had just been elected as the president of the American Psychological Association. He was uniquely positioned to steer the psychological community towards new horizons, and he did so with a clear and compelling vision. Seligman believed that psychology needed to explore what makes life worth living just as rigorously as it had explored what makes life unbearable. His presidency marked the beginning of positive psychology as a formalized field. Seligman, along with colleagues, advocated for a science that would investigate the positive, life-enhancing qualities that make life valuable and meaningful. They asked questions like, what leads to happiness? What makes one resilient? How can individuals and communities thrive and flourish? This was a call to action that resonated deeply within the psychological community and beyond. The timing was perfect. The end of the 20th century saw advances in various sciences, including neuroscience and behavioral psychology, which provided new tools and methods to measure and explore complex psychological states. Researchers were now equipped to study joy, resilience, and fulfillment with the same rigor they had applied to studying depression, anxiety, and fear. The response was enthusiastic. Funding began to flow for research projects focused on positive human functions. Universities started offering courses on positive psychology, and within a few years, it became a global movement. Researchers around the world began investigating diverse topics such as the impact of gratitude on mental health, the neurology of happiness, and strategies for fostering hope and optimism. This rise of positive psychology not only expanded the field's focus, but also changed how we think about mental health and wellness. It emphasized preventative approaches, suggesting that strengthening psychological well-being was just as important as treating psychological problems. This paradigm shift has had profound implications for therapy, education, the workplace, and everyday life, influencing policies and practices aimed at cultivating healthier, more resilient societies. So as you can see, the rise of positive psychology in the late 20th century was not just a change in academic focus, it was a cultural shift towards valuing and understanding how we can all lead more fulfilling lives. It's fascinating to think about how a change in perspective can open up new avenues for research and application, isn't it? As we move forward in this course, we'll dive deeper into these applications and see just how much this field has to offer, especially in practical terms.
If you're finding this lesson valuable, you can take your expertise to the next level. Join over 27,000 students at the Institute of Professional Psychology and earn your professional certification in this field. Scan the QR code on your screen or click the link in the description to access the full curriculum, workbooks, and your accredited credential. Let's get back to the lesson.